Hi, welcome to your yoga home. I'm Tim from timsonsyoga.com. In this series, we're going to build a foundation of practice. And in today's class, we're going to learn principles of movement that are going to be important for your foundation in yoga. Let's get started. For today's class, I'm going to recommend that you have a couple blocks. If you don't have blocks, then you could use whatever you have around your house that resembles a block that looks like this. So we're going to begin on the back. It's the easiest way to get things to open up, to loosen up, to relax, and to connect to the breath. So when we have poor posture throughout the day, when the shoulders are rounded, posture is rounded over, then we tend to breathe just little shallow breaths. So we're just going to take this opportunity at the beginning to open up. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees wide apart. Take your hands at your side. Close your eyes. And take a slow, steady breath in through your nose. And let it out. And then just start to observe your breath. Watch the rhythm, quality of the breath. And just feel how shifting your focus onto your breath has helped to take you inward in the body. Feel the sensation of stretch and the sensation of the breath. So that's going to be a really important element of our practice, that we stay anchored in the body by observing sensation, observing our breath. Now also, I'm going to draw your attention to different parts of alignment points. Take your arms up to the ceiling, then hook your thumbs, and now as you inhale, slowly let your arms start to fall back. Now let the arms pause halfway. Check it out on me. If I just let my arms hang back, then my rib cage will tip up. There's no traction or elongation in the pose. So to create elongation, I want to stabilize. I'm going to stabilize my rib cage in this neutral position and actively reach my hips out of my lower back. So try that with me. Slowly let your arms start to fall back without letting your rib cage tip up, and keep reaching your hips out of your lower back. You don't want to push so aggressively to where you feel like you're straining or holding your breath, but you have just this little bit of effort balanced with the surrender in the pose. That's a yoga pose. Bring your arms back up, change the hook of the thumbs, take the other thumb on top, and slowly let your arms start to fall back. Again, feel the elongation, the balance of effort with ease, and then observe your breath, the sensation of stretch. Then bring your arms back up, bring your knees together, and hug your right knee in. So this is the difference between doing a yoga pose and just stretching. Again, feel your hips elongate out of your back. Feel the waist get long. And as you hug your knee in, don't let your butt tuck under. Keep lengthening through the tailbone. Change legs. Hug your left knee into your chest and stretch your right leg out. Then set your left foot down, roll over to your side, press yourself up to seated, and then come onto your hands and your knees. Place your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. Then round your back and look back at your navel as you exhale. We'll start to warm up the spine. Inhale, arch your back, wheel your chest through. Exhale, round. Inhale, roll your chest through. Tip the sit bones up. One more time. Then come into a neutral position. So when we hold neutral, we don't want the spine to hang, round, or swing side to side. So keeping your hips nice and even, stretch your left arm forward. Then reach your right leg straight back behind you. Press the toe down, straighten the knee, pull the belly up, get long. And now let's see, can you lift your back leg up just an inch without your lower back hanging? Keep the lower back long. So feel the elongation, the traction. Slowly lower your hand and your knee and change sides. Stretch your right arm forward and reach your left leg back. So in this way, each yoga pose can be core work. Raise your back leg up just an inch, but keep the length, like your tailbone is getting pulled out of your lower back and you're reaching forward through the top of your head. That's going to turn on your core muscles. Lower your hand and your knee. Inhale, change sides. Exhale, lower down. Try not to wiggle from side to side. Inhale, change sides. Imagine I had a hot cup of coffee on your sacrum. Slowly change sides. It's really hot. It's like that McDonald's coffee that burned that lady when I was in 3rd grade. Remember that one? So super hot. Don't let that tip at all. Apologize to the victim and her families. Okay, then slowly stretch back into child's pose, your first child's pose. So child's pose is a resting pose, but it's also an active stretch for your arms. And it can be used when you feel like any point in this class a pose isn't working for you. You can just take a break and go back into child's pose. No worries, no judgments. Just practice self-love and acceptance as you're practicing your yoga practice. Inhale, come back up. And now let's stretch back into our first down dog. So curl your toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips. So in down dog, we're trying to make an inverted V shape. From the wrist all the way up to the hips, there should be a long line. Bend your knee, keep the bend in your knees so you can get the length from your wrist to your hips. If you straighten your legs and your butt tucks under, then that's not going to be as good for your spine as if you can get this length first. Over time, you'll be able to straighten the legs like this and still keep the length. But more important to keep the length than to get the legs straight. Then walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. And let's do a couple of sun salutations to warm up the spine and the muscles in the body. Inhale to reach your heart forward, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. Have a little bend in your knees as much as you need to get the feeling like the spine can release over your legs. Then as you inhale, come all the way up. Rotate your arms externally and raise them all the way up overhead. Then release your arms down at your side. Inhale, reach the arms up again. And then like a swan dive, tip from your hips, reach your chest forward as you fold. Bring your head down. Inhale, make a flat back, lengthen your spine. Hands to shins or fingertips to the floor if you're very flexible. And then plant your hands, step back into plank pose. If it's too much on your wrist or your shoulders to hold in this plank position, you can always just set your knees down like this, that's fine. Otherwise, in your plank, lengthen out. Press to your heels, grow your spine long, pull your belly up. And then slowly set your knees down if you haven't already. Lower your chest down in between your hands. Then as you inhale, point your toes back. Let's do a little belly back bend to wake up our back muscles. Stretch your arms straight back and check it out with the shoulders. Turn the inner shoulder to the outer shoulder. Press the tops of the feet down, lift the inner kneecaps. Roll the inner thighs up to the ceiling. And keep lengthening through the tailbone as you reach the upper chest forward. Again, look for the elongation. Then plant your hands by your chest. Press up onto hands and knees or straight up into plank. And then stretch back into your downward facing dog. So in down dog, feet are outer hips distance apart, hands shoulder distance apart. Open up the hands even into the mat. Keep drawing your hips up and back. Walk your feet forward to the front of your mat. And inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, arms to your side, Samastiti. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale like a swan dive, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back to plank pose. Hold in your plank or set the knees down. Press the floor down with your hands. Spread your collarbones, but elongate the spine to turn on your core muscles. Keep your belly pulled up. Then slowly lower down in between your hands. Use the control of your arm muscles. Point your toes back. And we're going to switch up the Shalabhasana this time. This time take your arms to the side like cactus arms. Rotate the biceps up to the ceiling and the triceps towards the floor. Then stretch the elbows away from each other and grow your spine longer. Now feel those muscles in the back of your shoulders and your armpits start to turn on. Those are super important for the full sun salutation, to be able to do a really good chaturanga and up dog. So we're going to keep training these muscles over the next few days in this series. Stretch your arms straight back again. Then place your hands by your chest. Come up onto your hands and your knees. And stretch back into downward facing dog. Reconnect to your breath. Feel the sensation of stretch in shoulders, armpits. Now, if you're super duper tight in your shoulders, it might be better just to do a modified child's pose until you get the flexibility in your armpit, chest, shoulders. Walk your feet all the way forward to the front of your mat. And inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale the arms to your side. Okay, cool. Let's try our first balancing pose. Are you ready? So balance helps to cultivate mental focus, stability. It also helps with strength in our joints and in the bones. So let's bring the right heel up onto the left inner thigh. Now it doesn't have to go up as high as I'm going to take it. You could take it lower, as long as it's not on the knee. If your balance isn't very good, you could also just turn your heel up onto your shin like this. But otherwise, if you have more flexibility, bring your heel up high, then bring your palms together. As you stand tall here, stretch from your left inner groin towards your knee. Let the leg elongate, but at the same time, elongate through the sides of your waist. Grow your spine tall. Then raise your arms up. Bring your hands back down, lower your leg down. Then bring your left heel up onto the inside of your right thigh. So as you're bringing that left heel up, on your right foot, plug down through your heel, your big toe, and your little toe mound. Join your palms. And once you're steady, raise your arms up. Turn your triceps forward and biceps back, just like this. Feel how much more space it creates for your neck. So that's called external rotation. Bring your arms back down and lower your leg back down. Okay, let's try a couple of standing poses. And just remember, no judgment. If your balance didn't go good, no worries. I've been doing this for years, so it's kind of easy. Just keep practicing. Take your legs wide apart and spread your arms out. Expand into your body. So often our view of our body, our mental map is much smaller, and this creates stress, tension, strain. So just let yourself expand fully into your body. Feel all the space that you deserve. Then angle your left leg inward slightly. Turn your right leg out 90 degrees. Bend your right knee so that it comes close to over your ankle. But at the same time on your back foot, just like in tree pose in the standing leg, connect the big toe, little toe mound, and center of the heel into the floor. Then on this leg, just like in tree pose, like the bent leg, stretch from the groin to the inner knee. This is called warrior two. Then from here, tip out over your leg and bring your hand onto the outside of your foot on the block. If you don't have a block, you could put your forearm onto your thigh. Then bring your top hand to your hip. Reconnect from your top hip into your back heel and reach the side chest away from your back heel. So this pose is called side angle because you can try to make a straight line or an angle from your back ankle all the way to through your top arm. So now reach your top arm over. Watch out for your plant. Give it some love if it's close to you. Okay. Keep lengthening the right inner leg so that the knee doesn't twist in. If you look down, your center ankle, knee, and hip should be all lined up. Elongate through your spine like we practiced at the beginning. Then inhale, come back up. Warrior two, feel the burn in your leg. Oh my gosh. Then straighten your right leg. Turn your feet to the other side. So angle your back foot inward a little bit like it's a little pigeon-toed. Turn your left leg all the way out. Connect into those points in your back foot. Bend your left knee. Grow tall through your spine. Don't let your spine shrink. Try not to lean side to side and spread your arms. Breathe in and out through your nose. Then from here, bring your hands to your hips on this side, tip your pelvis out over your left leg, and place your hand down. Fingertips on the block or forearm on the thigh. Connect from your back hip into your back heel. Then stretch your right arm all the way over your ear. Inhale, come back up. Straighten your left leg. Turn your toes in so your feet are parallel. Then bring your legs together, stand in mountain. All right, now so just for a moment, take your block, if you have one, and place it in between your thighs, way up high by your groins. When you stand in mountain pose, it should feel like your inner thighs are even on the block. If you don't have the block, look down at your knees. All four corners of your knees should be pointing straight ahead. That's how you know your thigh bone is in a neutral position. This can be very important for what we're going to learn throughout the next week. Okay, move the block to the side. Recreate the feeling like you still have the block. Then take your legs wide apart. Turn the left leg in a little. Turn your right leg all the way out. Now roll the right thigh all the way so it's like it's doing its neutral position facing the wall that your toes are pointing towards. The left leg is doing the neutral position at the same angle as the back foot. So let the thighs turn to match the feet, basically, in other words. Spread your arms out to the side and then tip from your pelvis out over your right leg. Keep the length of your spine instead of rounding over in the upper back as you put your hand down. Now, if it's too low to bring your hand onto the block, you could come up higher onto the shin. But it's important to keep this expansion across your chest. Then as you hold in your pose, reconnect to the sensation of stretch in your breath. It's not about how deep you're going in the pose. It's that you're staying connected to that open feeling of creating health, space, life in your body. Come back up. Turn your feet to the other side. So the right foot angles in a little, left leg turns all the way out. Check to see that your thighs turn all the way, like it's doing mountain pose, like it's doing its neutral, facing where the toes are pointing. Then tip from your pelvis, reach out and place your hand down. Reconnect to your breath. Feel the opening. Then inhale, come back up. Turn your toes in so your feet are parallel. Find the neutral position with your thighs again. Prasarita Padottanasana. Tip from your pelvis. Fold forward in between your legs. Then bring your hands onto the blocks in front of you. Make a flat back. If you're very flexible, you might be able to do this with straight legs and a long spine with the fingertips on the floor. Now what I mean by a flat back is a long spine. Like I could lay a foam roller on your back, it would sit even on there, instead of a hunchback or a concave back. Just find the length. And then if you want to play with going deeper, if you're like, it's pretty easy, you could turn the blocks down a notch, or you could try putting hands on the floor and still finding the flat back. On the contrary, if you're on blocks and your back is still rounded, then you could put your hands up on a stool, on a table, whatever you got to do. A ladder, I'm not sure what. No judgment. All right, come back up to stand, and then come into mountain pose again. So this is the foundation for all of your standing poses in yoga, because of what we're learning here, connecting into the feet, the elongation, and we started to learn those principles on the back before we even came into mountain. If you're to take a teacher training, you learn all your standing poses from this mountain position. Okay, cool. Now let's come to a seated position, Dandasana, seated staff pose. So in Dandasana, turn your thighs into the neutral position again, and then lift yourself up tall up over your sit bones. This is a really important core pose, because to be able to sit with the legs in this position and still keep your spine upright requires a lot of flexibility in your back and a lot of strength in your core. If you're all rounded over, then I recommend sitting up on a block as you practice this core work. All right, now if you have the totally tall spine, like you have this perfect L shape, try taking one arm forward, and then the other without sinking back. One arm up, and then the other without sinking back. Pull yourself tall up over your hips, like you're being lifted from the ceiling, from your wrists. And then lower your arms back down. Good. Let's try just a little bit of abdominal work. So roll down onto your back. Then release your arms at your side like cactus arms. Knees are bent, feet on the floor. Find neutral with your lower back. Flatten your lower back. Then arch your lower back. And then come right in between flattened and arched. Without losing that, bring one leg up into tabletop. Don't let the hips twist. Change legs. Imagine you had those tall cups of McDonald's coffee now on either hip. I have to mention McDonald's 3 times in each video because they're sponsoring me. That's how we pay for it. No, I'm just kidding. Change sides. I think they'd be pissed with the comment about the burning coffee. Okay, now bring your right leg up into tabletop and then the left leg up as well. Grow your spine long, but don't let the lower back lift. Keep it long. Slowly lower your right heel. Feel the abs turn on to keep the lower back long. Change legs. Don't let the neck do the work. Keep the neck free. Keep elongating your spine. Tailbone reaching out of your lower back, top of the head reaching the other way. And that elongation is working your erector spinae, all of your spine muscles, your core muscles. And by not letting your hips wiggle side to side, you're using your obliques, which are your side abs. Those things are gonna get ripped now. Good, I feel like we should add just a little bit of twisting. Do you got a little more ab work in you? Okay, keep the right leg up, stretch the left leg forward, fingers behind your ears. Now twist to your right knee, crunch up, and then change sides. Notice the exaggeration in the exhalation. That's important for ab work. And release. Okay, open up your arms to the side, take your feet the width of your mat, and just let your knees swivel over to the left. Little twist. Knees back up, and let your knees swivel over to the right. And you can look over to your left when you do that. Bring your knees back to center. Now let's strengthen the back muscles. That it's going to help with all of our yoga poses. And we'll do that in bridge, strengthening the back body. Bring your elbows right to your side like robot arms. Press the shoulder heads down. Feel your abs turn on. And then lift your buttock up. Now notice when my butt goes up, I don't let my knees twist out. I keep my knees pointing straight ahead so that I work the hamstrings and the glutes the right way. Now press the shoulder heads down, but keep your front ribs hugged in and lift from your outer hips and from the center of your butt. Then lower your buns back down. Again, exhale, lift up, press the shoulder heads down. Draw from the front hip bones in towards each other. Squeeze the backs of the legs. And lower yourself slowly back down. Then gently hug both knees into your chest. And then come into happy baby. Reach onto the insides of the knees. You can start just by grabbing your big toes. If you're more flexible, you can reach and grab the outside of the foot. Let the hips release down out of your lower back. Let the back ribs start to spread and open up along the floor.
Okay, good.
And then last little pose we're going to do here, cross your right ankle over your left knee and gently hug your left knee in towards your chest. You can grab the back of the leg if it bothers your knee at all, or you can hold the shin. Change the cross. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you have bad knees, the child's pose that we did at the beginning might be a little much on your knees. You can do it with your toes curled under. That lifts you out of the child's a little. Or you can just work on not stretching back as far until the knees start to get healthier. You don't have to sit all the way back onto your heels. All right, then release that. Stretch your legs out along the floor. And we're going to come into the Shavasana, your final relaxation pose, final meditation. So get comfy, get the wiggles out. Let your palms turn up at your side. Let your feet fall open. Let go of any tension you're still holding in your body. Let your hands and your feet relax. Relax the legs, the arms. Relax your shoulders. Relax all the muscles in your face. And just practice letting the thoughts come and go. Turn your attention to your breath. Then gently bend your knees, roll over to your side, and press yourself up to seated. Sit up tall, bring your palms together, and with your eyes closed, just notice the shift that comes at the end of your practice. Notice how good you feel. Notice the quality of your mind. Notice the feeling in your body, maybe a feeling of lightness. And also observe your breath. Thank you. Namaste. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I'd appreciate it if you join and become a member of the community. You can click the subscribe button to do that, and then I'll start sending you videos. You can also go to timsanessayoga.com to sign up so that I'll start sending you information like the weekly letter and videos that are released. Make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment. If you have any questions about the practice or where to go next, just let me know. Look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video, and have a great day.